Hi guys, my name is Lady Matikela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us on this video to actually go through Mangena's affidavit statement, all of that shade. Okay, let's do a deep dive into that situation and find out yintoni mna ndithi kuni. It's something that he dropped into that statement or that affidavit that will have accused number 3 walking. Okay, let's get into this situation because what we are dealing with here is a ballistic that could destroy the case. Ballistics that could destroy the case internally, guess son. Senzo may you trial breakdown. But hey guys, Senzo nearly shrine that I do not wanna not say. What if I told you the same expert the state is relying on to convict the accused may have just exposed the biggest weaknesses in the entire case? Their entire case depends on this. But Umangena made sure zibekwa nje he is going to destroy all of it. Statement sakhe affidavit or statement loo nto leyiyo ne it's not a witness that it's not just a random witness nje, it's not a confession that destroys the case, it's not a witness but science itself, because Lieutenant General or no Lieutenant Colonel Chris Mangena didn't just reconstruct the crime scene. He may have reconstructed a version that doesn't match the state story. And today we are going to break down the ballistic evidence, the chain of custody disaster, and the one contradiction that could collapse everything. Point yokuqala nje, first things first, the state's strongest weapon. Let's start there. Because on paper, Mangena is dangerous for the defense. He walks into the courtroom, trajectory analysis, bullet path reconstruction, scene measurement, and a firearm match. That's what he brings, right? Yes. The state is exceeding. Yes. The state is excited. Yes. That is not guesswork, most right? This is forensic science. He tells the court, Umangena, 2 shots were fired. 1 hits the floor. The second hits Senzo Meyiwa, goes through him into the door, ricochets back, and lands on the counter. Let that sink in. Let that sink in on the counter. Okay. This is precise, controlled, calculated. Mangena lo wonke. Okay. It's not chaotic. There's no chaos. Nix here. It's an order, not random shooting. Point number 2, the moment everything shifted, okay? Now here is where things get uncomfortable for everyone. Ne? This is where everything gets uncomfortable. This is where everything gets uncomfortable. Mangena reveals something critical. The fatal shot was close range, right? Not across the room, not from the doorway, close, loose contact. That means the gun was near the body, possibility within arm's reach, possibly during movement or struggle. He even admits that a struggle cannot be ruled out. And then we have the doctor's report. The doctor says the person that was struggling with Senzo was tall like him. They were both tall. Do you see why they wanted Danzi at some point to be the shooter? But now they couldn't change that because they already made IQ's number 3 the shooter. And now the problem with that is that IQ's number 3 is way shorter than both Senzo and Longwe. Both Senzo and Longwe are tall, like Danzi. But now Undanzi, is so-called confessions, is not the shooter. IQ's number 3, the short guy, is the trigger puller. And then the science is disagreeing here with their notion. Let's continue. Let's continue. Because this changes everything, guys. If the shot was close range, then the question is, who was close enough to fire it? Because if Senzo was fighting, easy, Senzo was taller than accused number 3. He put you in the wall. Do you understand? It can't be a case of uSenzo uzawenjenje. No, it's a struggle seat. Then why choose number 3 is supposed to be there on top. Now, no one gave us the struggle had someone hanging in balance from the eyewitnesses. Akekho watsho kanjalo. Akekho. Now let's talk about the collapsing, the version collapsing. Okay. Now let's connect this. The state's version suggests intruders, forced entry, external attackers. But Mangena's science suggests close contact, controlled shot, possible struggle. These two things don't sit comfortable together. They don't even make sense. You cannot have a chaotic robbery and a controlled close range execution style shot at the same time. This is where case 375 was born. When Makuba and Joyce were sitting there and be like, okay, you said this happened. Awukwazi kaloku. Kube kwi-end result ye close range, controlled shooting, ayikwazi. Can't be. That's how case 375 was born, Kesana. If you ungayazi, now you know. Now you know if you didn't know. Those things don't sit well together, right? Struggle, possible struggle, the external attackers. Now you cannot have a chaotic robbery and a controlled close range execution shot style shot at the same time. This is the fracture point. This is where the narrative starts to shift, Gesan. It splits. And that is why I say, Umangena, guest statement Sake said a lot of things that I have the accused working out. Umangena agrees with case 375's motion. The statement of Mangena agrees with what is said with case 375. Trust me, it does. Oh, trust me. Listen to that carefully. It does. It sure does agree. Now, let's talk about the gun that links everything. Okay. Now, the state tries to recover. They bring in the firearm, a gun linked to Mthobisi Mncube. Mangena tested and he says the bullet from the scene was fired from that gun. Right? Boom. There you have it. Right? That is the state's anchor. Okay. This is how they try to connect crime scene, weapon, accused. But here is the problem when it comes to that. This is where the case don't get strong. That's why it doesn't get stronger. It gets weaker. The chain of custody, Gesana, it's a disaster. Because now we look at how that gun was handled. And this is where things fall apart. Mangena admits the firearm arrived in an open, sealed bag. He says, Yena, when he got the firearm, it was in an open, sealed bag. No proper documentation. No one is explaining to him why it was on an open sealed. Why was the bag is transparent and it's opened? Why? No clear chain of custody. You can't say that's the same firearm. That is why I said Umangena made sure the accused are going to work. Let me repeat this. Open, seal, bag. Yep. In forensic law, Kesana, let me give it to you. That is a nightmare. Mangena knows this. Because evidence must be sealed, logged, tracked, verified at every stage. Otherwise, open sealed bag. And also, what's so worse is him testing that firearm or even accepting it and taking it for testing when it was on an open sealed bag. Otherwise, no chain tombela. Up deep within for doing that part. He is in. But here, the gun moves across years. It's stored inconsistently. It's nearly destroyed. Then suddenly it becomes the murder weapon. Johnny! Make it make sense. Now, legally, the reality is if the chain is broken, the evidence is compromised. And if the evidence is compromised, the entire link to the accused becomes questionable. And also, we also have the 6-year gap nobody can explain, mind you. The silent IB system. Let's go deeper, Papa, when it comes to this again. The murder happens in 2014. I want to make sure I hammer this until you get it and understand it. The murder happens in 2014. The gun only linked 6 years later, nearly 6 years later, Gesan. During that time, where was it? Who handled it? Was it altered? Was it tested before? No clear answers and in law, that gap creates reasonable doubt. Do you see why I choose Mangena of making sure the accused are working out? Now, the contradiction that changes everything is this. Now we bring it all together. Mangena gives us two truths. One, close range shooting, possible struggle, controlled trajectory, suggests someone very close to center. Okay? Truth two, gun linked to accused number 3, suggests external involvement. But these two truths don't fully align. And that's the problem. The same evidence meant to convict may be the evidence that creates doubt. Mangena didn't just analyze the bullet. He exposed the cracks in the state case. What are your thoughts when it comes to all of this? Let's talk comment section. I want to hear your views. Thank you so much. I will see you on our next video. Bye-bye.